you kind of choose each other. It's like a mutual thing, and that's kind of how I feel about Buddhism and my way of life. Is when I got into combat sports, it just naturally kind of agreed with me.
I love meditating in the beginning of my day so that I can just be ready for anything. And then sometimes I do pull some tarot cards for myself just to see how my day will be. And that's pretty much it. And then I just go about my day after that.
Yeah, like literally any opportunity to be in nature and with a plant, a tree, an animal, a creature, anything. Like any experience is something that I try to utilize in my practice.
Well, my faith has played a part in just being willing to accept where I go and just really be more present and understanding that I can make decisions that lead to a certain tomorrow that I want to look, but at the end of it, God's really being able to pull me in the direction that He wants me. My name's Matthew Escoto. I'm 23 years old.
Plant in soil that is good because it is you. God, we thank you that we know, no matter the size of the seed, that you can do something amazing with it. So God, have us open our hearts.
My junior year of high school is when things just weren't going so well, kind of in and out of like a depression. So 2014, I was in a spot just in my room on my bed thinking like, you know what, I think tonight's the night where I just pull myself out of this equation called life. I planned on hanging myself in my garage. I was at the edge of my bed crying, and then next thing I know, I woke up. So first of all, I wake up thinking, oh my gosh, that was probably the worst dream I've ever had in my life. And then I look down and I see I'm in the same clothes. So I'm like, oh, that wasn't a dream. That was a real situation. It just felt like a huge adrenaline rush. And next thing I know, I was out. So went to a hospital, was there for a week. Everything felt good. But then it would build up into a couple more months where it was just this feeling coming back again. And I was like, I don't want to deal with this. I'm so scared. So before making any decision, I just fell to my knees in the prayer position, just saying, God, I don't know what's going to happen tonight, but I'm so scared. And I get a text from a friend saying, hey, I don't know what you're doing, but there's going to be this youth and young adult service going on. It's going to be really cool if you want to come by. Right away, I started trying to think of ways to get out of it. And then I was like, this is what I prayed for. How can I not lean into something that I feel God's answering right in front of me?
To be honest with you, you are. This person does want to spend a lot of time with you. They genuinely like you. They want to commit. And I see a lot of happiness in this relationship, a lot of growth as well. So, Alexandra Carmona, I'm 21 years old. Like August 2019, my cat passed away and she had cancer, so I had to put her down. So when she died, I was just like really sad and like lost. Her bed was there, but she wasn't there, and her food was there, but like she wasn't there. So it was like, I have to throw all this away. Like, I'm not going to use this anymore. So I don't know what it was, but I just started like feeling like I needed to kind of cope in a different way, because the way that I was coping was very like pushing myself away from everybody, and it wasn't okay. So I learned to cope a different way, which was to like find myself. So I started meditating, and then I started watching tarot card readings on YouTube, and I was like, wait, this is like really cool. And then I bought myself a tarot deck, and then it just like kind of clicked. Like it all made sense. Like the meanings, like I kind of knew what the meanings were for all the cards without really searching them up. It was like more intuition kind of thing. Yeah, so it all happened after she passed. I like to think that it was like her gift to me.
My name is Lacey Carey. I am 32 years old. and I do not practice any form of religion. I was raised in a Christian household, and from a very early age, I was like, that doesn't really resonate with me. If I believe in anything, or if I, do anything at all, it's nature, and I, kind of exist within the realm of nature and the laws of nature, and I, just utilize that within itself as far as what I believe in. And every day, I step outside, I see the sunshine in from my windows, and it gives me energy, and it, the air, everything surrounding myself, gives me life, and I show gratitude, and I am able to basically experience and enjoy my existence through nature.
So hi, my name is Wolf Young, and I was born and raised here in the Bay Area, San Francisco. I'm 30 years old, and I'm a thriving martial artist, looking to make it as a pro fighter and possibly a coach in the future. I would love to teach martial arts. I describe my faith to be that of Zen Buddhism. I think I'm a Zen Buddhist at heart. And I don't have like your typical upbringing within Buddhism, right? I kind of learned about Buddhism at a young age through my adoptive grandmother, and she would always travel the world, and she would always bring me back, different books and things about like various cultures, from her travels. And I remember one that really hit me at the time, growing up rough here in the city, was watching how kids in Thailand, they were majority Buddhist, and how they used Buddhism as a way to kind of, be able to center themselves within struggle, within, poverty and various things that they were going through. And it really struck a chord with me more so than, Catholicism or any, form of religion that, we have here in the West. And I read about meditation, specifically later on about Zen Buddhism. And the concept of meditation, being able to like free yourself of certain emotions, and just to kind of look at things perspectively, and to kind of just relax, and to kind of just game plan in a different way, and to let your body and mind reset, to become as one, and to just really look at things that way. That's kind of how I got my start in Buddhism.
I think there's lots of misconceptions when it comes to the idea of religion. I think religion can really leave a bad taste in people's mouth. And the reason I'm using the word religion is because I feel it's not the problem of the spirituality that gets people away from church or away from things like that, but I really believe it's the fact that people get in the way. People make mistakes, and sometimes it can push you away from the church, but that doesn't mean it should, because overall, people shouldn't represent God, because God is too perfect to represent.
Definitely from my tattoos and the way I present myself physically, usually older generations have issues, or kind of are just more ignorant, or, just kind of confused, and, they'll make comments, and I kind of enjoy it, honestly. Like I enjoy the challenging elements that it provides. It allows me to interact with people. People come up to me and they say like, hey, I really like your tattoos, or like, oh, that looks weird, or like, what are you doing? Like, or you're that's bad, and blah, blah. And it allows me to have a conversation with them. And I really appreciate that. And I think it's really powerful and productive.
The biggest misconception is like people telling me that like I'm talking to the devil when I'm doing my readings, or I've had a lot of like on my comments on TikTok, they tell me like, I'm gonna pray for you. I feel like people see it as like a cult. It's not like that at all. Like, I'm still me. Like, I still have a personality. I'm not like being controlled or anything. It's just now I just like to read cards. That's the only difference. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's the biggest misconception, definitely, that I'm like gonna go to hell.
It was really tough for me to tell my mom's, in particular, because she is really strict with her faith. You know, she went through rough times. She used to be an alcoholic. She got clean, you know, and I think she really kind of clung to her Catholicism, to her faith as a way to understand the world, and as you know, as most of us do. But for her, it was really hard. I think my first initial reaction with her when talking to her about being a Buddhist, she looked at me. She told me, she was like, "No, you're not a Buddhist. There's no way. You're Catholic. Quit kidding yourself." You know, and I remember after that initial reaction, I never spoke to her about it again until she noticed that I wouldn't do certain things. You know, I wouldn't. You know, I didn't really. You know, there's a couple. I haven't been in the church in so long, but I know that there's a couple of key days that, you know, people go and they worship, but I wouldn't go, you know, and it's just, I didn't feel like it was my place to go. I didn't really feel like it struck a chord with me. I just, you know, I wasn't Catholic. Today, I still think that she's in denial, you know, about my faith, and it's a part of a big reason why we're estranged today. We don't talk today. Yeah, my pops is truly the guy for me then, you know, and I'm really thankful to have had him, because I really, you know, he was really, I'm super sorry, he was really there for me. He didn't care that I wasn't Catholic, you know. When I came out that, hey man, I'm Buddhist, he was like, man, listen, you could be whatever. You know, I love you the same, as long as, you know, you're not doing ignorant, dumb shit on the streets, you know. And yeah, my pops was the man for sure throughout all that, and that guy's my hero, you know. So, pops, if you're hearing this, I love you. I love you. You're the man.
I did a gig in Cal State Long Beach. That was my first thing ever that I ever did. They like asked me to do tarot readings for their festival, and so I did in-person readings for like everyone who was there. They just like got in line and, you know, got a reading from me. And yeah, after that I did start doing in-person, and then the COVID happened. So connecting wise, like I'm able to connect with people through email or online. I could do readings for them through that, like that as well. It's not really hard for me. Yeah, I think the majority of people I do readings for would be older, like 40 to 30-year-olds. Like they're having like those midlife crises, and you know, they tell me like, I think I might have to get a divorce. So a lot of older people come to me and they tell me like they feel lost.
One of my biggest muse is decay. I really appreciate death and like just the whole process of, you know, like the aspect of like dying and then the rebirth. In a lot of physical, like the visual art that I make, that I take from trash or from decaying things, or things that are being transmuted in some way. Like transmutation is really inspiring and influential to me in my visual art. I mean, in my sonic art too. Like I make music and stuff. When I'm creating visual art, I often use like charcoal. One of my biggest things that I like to use is if there's been a fire of whatever degree, like a house or a tree or anything, trash, something, whatever. If there's like a charcoal from it, I like to gather charcoal and I use that charcoal as a medium to make art, and it's really empowering. I personally burn things to use for that, and that's been really cool. I've had things of mine burned down, like a house burned down, and I have charcoal from that house, and like that's art that I use. And like it's like any element of decay that I find along my way, I really like to reuse things. I think that's a really big aspect of what I'm trying to do in what I'm trying to create, like to reuse, to transmute, to recreate something from what it was and turning it into something else.
In karate, we would always take a moment to sit Hanza, which is you sit down in like a kind of a rested position on your knees, and they would kind of say makso, and you would focus on your breathing. You just take a moment to kind of like reflect and to just kind of like take in what you're about to do, right? You're about to engage in this rigorous activity. It's about to be very hard on your body, but you're just emptying out all the stress that walked in those doors with you, and you're just emptying all that out. You're just freeing your mind of all that, and you're kind of inviting the sense of like, hardship or training, in, right? You're saying this is what I'm about to do, and you rid yourself of all that. Then you have tough training, and then after your tough training, you do the same, which is you let the training from the day kind of rinse out. And me and my self-meditation, when I wake up every morning, I usually take a minute to like just reflect upon the previous day and to ask myself, am I ready today? What can I do to better myself today? And I take a moment, I sit, I breathe, and in my breathing, I realize that this life that I'm given has purpose. In its purpose, I strengthen myself and I strengthen others, and I continue to show compassion.
I just continue on doing that same thing of doing what I can today, being responsible with what I have in front of me, and really just trusting God that wherever He wants me to go is where I'll go.
I feel like the people who go in it, like the people who are like spiritual in that sense, like they do tarot readings, the ones who are like real and genuine about it are the ones who go in it because they actually went through a real spiritual awakening.
Everything is literally intention based. As long as everyone has the same intentions and are striving for the same thing with each other, for each other, that's like the main thing.
So through compassion, we find strength, and through strength, we uplift, and through uplifting, we truly find ourselves.